Hey everyone, thanks for joining me on this 10-part series of buying your first home. In the first section, we discussed making the decision to buy a home, and hopefully we alleviated some of your fears. Part 2, how to find the best realtor. Stay tuned. All right, so I imagine everyone knows a realtor, or you probably know several realtors, right? Well, you're on my YouTube channel right now listening to me talk about this. I would obviously love to have, be able to work with you as a realtor, have you as my client, and help you find your first home. But we all know somebody. So, if you have a friend or family who's, already a realtor and you plan to work with them, great. But, we want to make sure that you're finding the right person and finding the right questions to ask somebody, make sure that they have the experience and the knowledge that they need to help you with this process. So we're going to talk about some of our responsibilities as a realtor. I believe that the bar is set way too low to become a realtor. It takes literally 90 hours of classes. Up until a couple of years ago, I think in North Dakota, we only needed 45 hours of classes. We learned a lot of legal definitions. We learned how many square feet are an acre. We're not learning any real world experience in those classes. And, it takes that real life experience to be able to help our clients the best we can. So we just want to make sure that you're working with the right person. So the nice thing about real estate, the fun part is that every deal is different. Every deal has its own problems. Every client is different. Every house is different. And the only way we can learn is through experience and actually doing it, getting out there and getting sales. And now, of course, I understand that everyone has to start somewhere. I started brand new 14 years ago. And how was that handled? Well, I had someone shadowing me, or a mentor in my office who, my first listing, I told the people flat out, I am brand new. You are my first client ever, but I'm going to be working with this other very experienced agent. Whenever you have a question, if I don't absolutely know the answer, I will tell you. I don't know the answer. I will find that out for you. Whenever there's decisions to be made about the marketing or the negotiations or the sales or any part of it, I will go back to my mentor and we will have the right answer for you. So make sure that the person you work with has some experience and that they have someone with experience that is working with them. I had some clients that bought an investment property with me a couple years ago, and they went and bought a house with another realtor. It turned out to be like a family member's, friend, whatever, and they were brand new. And of course, they wanted to give them some business, which is understandable. But they bought a property that I would have recommended they skip. It turned out to be okay, but it wasn't an ideal property. So just make sure whoever you find has that experience or has that experienced person with them. So what is it we do as realtors? Well, many people see us, unfortunately, as just door openers or someone to fill out some paperwork. Well, that can be further from the truth. And I'm going to go over the 7 core duties that we have as realtors. I've actually had people call me and say, hey, can you show me this house? Can you just let me in? And my first question is, if I don't know them, is, are you working with a realtor? We have a code of ethics that we follow. If you have signed an agreement and you're working with a realtor, we cannot interfere with that client in that realtor relationship. And they'll say, oh, well, my realtor's on vacation, or they're not answering their phone, or they're busy. I can't get a hold of them. Can you show me the house? Well, no, I can't. I can't work with someone else's clients. We are much more than just door openers, and I'm going to go through all the 7 steps here, the 7 processes we go through right now. So step 1 is to educate you about your market. As we mentioned in the first video here in the series, real estate is hyper local to your market. The market in Fargo is way different than other parts of the country. We don't see the big swings like other parts of the country do. You want someone who's an expert in your market, someone who is, an expert in the home trends, the price trends, neighborhoods, schools, current inventory. Is it a buyer's or seller's market? Much more. So you want that local expert providing the best up-to-date knowledge in your market. Step 2 is to analyze your wants and needs. So my first meeting with a client is a buyer consult that I do. We go through a lot of different things, but part of that process is that we go through what it is you want and what it is you need in your house. And so we ask a lot of questions. We're going to ask you about where you want to be, what do you need at the house, how many bedrooms, bathrooms, garage stalls, fence yards, amenities, locations to schools or work, that kind of thing. What we do, we want to make sure we ask the right questions and that we really listen to what you're saying. And then once you give us all the information of what you're looking for, we can then offer some advice to you. We set up a search for you through the MLS, and we're going to try to find the right property for you based on the criteria that we discussed, and hopefully find you the right home right away. Step 3, guide you to homes that fit your criteria. So the first step, once we kind of know what you're looking for, is to do a search on the MLS, the multiple listing service. That's where realtors, we list all the properties for sale. So we go put in all the criteria that we discussed, and we set up a search. And then whenever property is listed, it'll get sent out to you. And anytime you see something that's emailed out to you, then you just contact us. We go set up a showing for you, go take a look at that property. Unfortunately, that's where some realtors stop the search there. I go forward with a few more steps beyond that. Um, Once I know what you're looking for, I will go, I'll put your criteria down. You're on a list that I look at every day, and we get what's called a hot sheet every day. And it comes out, it's an email sent to all the realtors. It's sent out at 2:03 a.m. Ask me how I know that. But I do review that hot sheet every day, and what it is, it's all the properties listed in the last 24 hours. And so I go look at that list and just see, like, do any of these properties that just came out, do they fit the criteria of the clients that are looking currently? And sometimes we'll see something, we have a very specific list of criteria through the search on the MLS. Well, let's say there's one thing that's missing on the criteria from one of these houses that I see. Like, they really want a fenced yard. I find a house that does not have a fenced yard, but the price is right that would allow them to fence their own yard. Something like that, So I will go, send it to them and see, hey, this is close to what you're looking for. Do you want to see it? Do you think this will work for you? Also, something I also look at price adjustments too. So sometimes they reduce the price of a house, and maybe they didn't see it early on in the search for some reason, and we'll go and maybe take a look at that house as well. I also look at canceled or expired listings. These are listings that did not sell or that they took off the market for some reason or another, and see if one of those properties fits their needs too. And if it's been canceled or expired, maybe there's a chance to get a better deal. The house didn't sell and they still want to get it sold, and so we can come in there and try to get a better deal for the client. Another source I do is I look at FSBO, as we call it. It's for sale by owner, FSBO. And so there's different sites out there that where people list their house for sale by owner, and I get those properties sent to me daily as well. So if I get a FSBO sent to me, I will see if it fits the criteria of a buyer, and see if we can't work with that seller to get that property under contract for a buyer too. We do have a website that we use as well to search. If you're used to looking at Zillow or realtor.com or these other sites, you can go to mark.jkpropertypartners.com. We have a search feature that's very similar to those other sites. The nice part is when you go there, you register, and I see that you're on there. And if you like a property and want to see it, you can just like it there and message me and say you're interested in seeing a property. I'm not being creepy and spying on you. I do see when you like a property, but that's for your benefit, so we can go take a look at that property. So we're doing a little extra. I'm doing a little extra here to try to find properties just above and beyond just MLS searches. 4, coordinate the work with other needed professionals. Besides me as the realtor, you're going to have another team around you. I'm going to offer my experience with people like lenders, title companies, insurance agents, home inspectors, contractors. These are all an integral part of the whole process. Of course, unless you have cash, you're going to need a lender. We're going to recommend you get a home inspection done. If any work needs to be done for the sale or else after the sale, I have contractors I can recommend to you. So use my experience, and I can recommend some of the best people in all of these fields to work with you and help you out through the process here. 5, negotiate on your behalf. This one is so important. We don't just go throw an offer at a house that's for whatever they're asking for. Sometimes we do, but typically we go and try to negotiate the best deal for you. And experience really matters here. I love coming in and trying to get some different deals for my clients. I'm also an investor myself, and I've worked with investors, and we've done some different crazy, deals with sellers. Right now, at the time of filming this video, we're at the back end of one of the craziest markets we've ever seen. When COVID hit, rates dropped, and home sales got nuts. If you talk to a realtor who's only been in the business for about 3 years, that's all they've ever experienced. And what that means is we had multiple offers on properties like crazy. You could have 5, 10, 15, 20 offers on a house like day one. And to win that offer, there was no negotiating. It was simply who can afford to throw the most money at it, who's willing to skip their inspection, who's willing to do what's called an appraisal gap. This is where, let's say the house does not appraise for this crazy number you threw at the house. Let's say it comes down 10,000 or 20,000 below what you offered. You're willing to guarantee with cash that you'll make up the difference. That's why you saw house prices skyrocket so much in the last couple of years. And if you tried to buy a house, it was tough. I had a client who wrote 10 offers on a house, and we were not willing to just go skyrocket crazy prices. So That was not negotiating. That was just taking everything we could and throwing it at a property and see if we get the deal. Um, Agents before 3 years ago are used to a more normal market and have more experience, with the negotiating there. So again, find someone with experience, or else find someone who is working with someone with experience. It's a big deal, and negotiating is it's actually one of my favorite parts. I love negotiating deals, and just trying to throw in little tidbits here to try to get something for closing costs, whatever we can do to try to get this figured out. So um, yeah, it's so important. I love it. It's one of them. It's like a game. I have fun doing it. I love getting a great deal for my clients in the end, even if it's only $1,000 here, whatever. If we can get it done and save you some money, why not? Let's get it taken care of for you. 6, check and double check paperwork and deadlines. I am very fortunate to have someone in our office, on our team, called a transaction coordinator, and her name is Vanessa. Whenever you buy or sell a property through us, you're going to get to know Vanessa very well. She's going to call you and she's going to congratulate you on the sale, first of all. And then she's going to start setting up things like scheduling your walkthrough. She's going to set up your closing. She's going to have, if there's missed signatures or documents, addendums that need to be signed, things like that for compliance. She's going to be sending you documents, and she's going to be in constant communication with you. Before we get to closing, she's going to send you a great email where it talks about some things like changing your address, getting your utilities set up, some tips about helping you move. She is a wonderful part of our team here, and I don't know if I could go do the number of deals that I do every year without her. She just takes care of so much in the background, and keeps me on my toes too. So it's a great part of our team here, and so we just want to make sure that everything is done correctly. All paperwork is done. No signatures or initials are missed. All deadlines are met. Because if anything is missed, Vanessa has lists and lists of things she has to comply with. If any of those things are missed, it could mean not closing in the house. So again, having Vanessa on the team, having a transaction coordinator is so vital and such a great asset for you as well. And 7, solve any problems that may arise. One thing I learned early on as a realtor is one of our biggest duties is to be a problem solver, brainstorming, trying to figure things out. We have financing issues come up, inspection problems, appraisals. There's things we find at final walkthroughs that did a final walkthrough at a house. This is where we kind of go check out the house, make sure it's in good condition, same condition as when we bought it or when we put the contract on it, and that they haven't damaged the house, that kind of thing. A bed was removed from our bedroom, and we found out the dog had destroyed the carpet below it. We got a carpet allowance from the seller at the closing. Missed deadlines, title issues, these things come up, and we just try to solve these problems for everyone. At the time of filming this here, we just solved a problem with a buyer. We've been under contract for 4 months. Huge foundation issues, roof issues, financing issues. It's become a huge problem. We have been worked with this problem, me and the other agent who has been amazing to work with, her and her clients. And just yesterday, finally came to a solution on the problem, and my client's buying this house in 2 weeks. That's what we're here for, identify problems, analyze the situation, find a solution that works best for the buyer and the seller. We just got to keep working to find the solution. Realtors really are problem solvers. We're not just door openers. We don't just fill a paperwork out. We are trying to get you to closing and solve all the problems so that everyone's happy at the end. So when you're meeting with a realtor and asking questions, what kind of questions should you ask them? So a few questions. Why did you become a real estate agent? Why should I work with you? What do you do better than other agents do? What processes will you use to find me the right home, particularly my wants and needs? What are the most common things that go wrong in a transaction, and how would you handle them? What are some of the mistakes you think people make when buying their first home? What professions will be working with me other than, and what are their roles? Inspectors, lenders, that kind of thing. And can you provide me with references and testimonials from past clients? So a lot of these questions are answered in this video as far as concerning me. But, in the end, I think it's really about 3 main things: professionalism, knowledge, and experience. And, the right agent sees, service as both a promise to you and, to the profession. It's about putting our clients first before our commissions. Of course, yes, we get paid, we get compensated for doing this, but really it's making sure our clients are happy, making sure that we meet or exceed all your expectations. And finding the right agent is key to the home buying journey. Um, so yeah, talk to a couple agents. I'd love to visit with you. Ask some of those questions, interview them, and see if they're the right person that fits with you. Um, you don't want to get like your sister's dog walker's uncle or someone who sells like 3 houses a year. I mean, that's a little extreme, but you know what I mean. There's agents that only sell a few houses a year that don't do a lot of business. I think the average agent in the United States, I've heard different numbers, but I think it's they sell 8 or less houses a year, and that's just not how you gain enough experience to do this properly. So find that right agent, ask the questions, and make sure that they're a good fit for you and that they're going to do the right job for you. So if you'd like to meet up and discuss the home buying process further, feel free to give me a call. You can reach me at 701-793-8543. That's my personal cell number. Or you can comment below down here in the video, and I'd be happy to meet up with you. The first buyer consult is about an hour long. We go through the process of buying a home, the steps involved. We talk about lenders, the whole process there. Introduce our company to you, and then we go do what I call the boring paperwork. We do have some disclosures and paperwork we have to go through. But yeah, so if you're looking to buy your first home, or if you know somebody looking to buy their first home, I would love it if you could share this video with them. Also, to continue on with this 10-part series, please subscribe to my channel here. Hit that bell for notifications, and you'll be part of this process and learning all 10 steps of buying a home. I look forward to meeting with you and discussing further.